This year I wanted to add something special to my light show, so I decided to give these two Nutcrackers celebrity voices so that they can host the light show for me.
Are you done yet? Christmas is a deadline, not a suggestion.
Dude, chill out, I'm working on it.
Wow, took you long enough.
I'm starting to think that giving these guys voices was a bad idea. I bought these Nutcrackers and Pixels from a company called Holiday Coro. If you want the props to work right, then you have to install these pixels in a very specific order, and this was a lot harder to do than expected. If I were going to do this again, I would actually pay the extra money and have them print the wire layout on the back of the prop. While I was wiring the Nutcrackers up using these awesome little heat shrink solder connectors, I had an idea. What if I used an AI program to give them voices that sounded like celebrities? And I landed on the worst possible celebrity name puns that I could think of. And so Samuel L. Jackson and Christopher Walnut would be born. They wouldn't just sing, they would have conversations, they'd tell terrible jokes, they'd introduce my songs. It was going to be amazingly awful. After getting the Nutcrackers all built, I ran a quick test sequence and bam, they looked incredible. Fully lit, mouths moving, just exactly like they were supposed to. And I was pumped. I thought the hardest part was over. Turns out, I was an idiot. The first real hurdle was getting the voices right. I thought this part would be simple, but the generic text-to-speech websites were just awful.
Attention humans, I am Samuel L. Jackson.
There was no personality and no attitude. I realized I couldn't use a stock voice because the timing was all off, and that's particularly bad whenever you're trying to make a voice like Christopher Walken's that has a very particular cadence.
Just hit menu.
On the remote?
No, the menu with the red lobster. Yes, on the remote.
I ended up having to clone them, and this led me to a software called Voice.ai, which morphs your own voice with an AI model of a celebrity. I may have had a little too much fun testing out these voices. Hey, Morty.
Hey, Morty.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Ah, damn it, Kyle.
Damn it, Kyle.
The problem was that I had to record my own impersonations first, which were humiliatingly bad. And I'm Christopher Walnut, completely unrelated to a certain famous Walken individual. Hey, attention humans! I am Samuel L. Jackson, not to be confused with any other Samuels you may know, because, well, lawyers exist. But then the magic happened. I fed my terrible audio clips into the software, and the AI made it sound shockingly like real celebrities.
Exactly. We are original, fully legal, totally distinct holiday personalities.
With the first obstacle overcome, I felt confident, but this is the point where my week was really ruined. I plugged everything in and started testing the lights. It was freezing outside with ridiculous winds. I actually had to stop filming because it kept blowing over my camera.
Dang it.
Once I got everything plugged in, the lights just started freaking out. One Nutcracker would go dark while the other convulsed with these random flashes of lights, and my heart just sank. And so I started troubleshooting. I checked the wiring, I checked the power injection, nothing. I spent hours checking one variable at a time, convinced that I'd just missed something small. The frustration was so intense that I texted my wife. I even told her, I was like, we're not gonna be able to get the Nutcrackers working this year. Like, I was just out of time. But to make matters worse, the next day, the audio for my entire show was completely messed up. So even the old stuff wasn't working. Okay. It wouldn't play anything over the radio transmitter. I was ready to give up on my Christmas lights altogether. But I decided to rebuild my Falcon controller from scratch and try this new USB audio dongle. And while doing that, I noticed something. If the radio transmitter was too close to the controller when it booted up, the controller wouldn't start the USB audio driver. That gave me a light bulb moment. A total long shot, but what if the transmitter was causing interference in the pixel signal too? So I moved the transmitter as far away from the controller as possible, and all the problems went away. My project was saved. So just a little pro tip, keep your transmitters as far away from your Pixel controllers as physically possible. With the voices cloned and the lighting demons exercised, I could finally get to the fun part, putting it all together in the xLights software. First, I imported the Nutcracker models and mapped all 204 pixels on each prop, telling the software which lights were the mouth, arms, and so on. Once the models were built, it was time to animate. I used a free resource, audiolyrics.lightingfanatics.com, and I'll put that in the description so that you don't have to remember that. But I use that to generate the timing tracks, and it automatically breaks the dialogue down into the phenom level. The little sounds like ah and oh and hu that make up each word. Each of those has a different mouth shape that we can match to a light pattern on the prop. I just applied a faces effect to the mouth, linked it to the phenom trap, and boom, perfectly synced lip sync. After that, I programmed the rest of the animations and added them into my current song list. And when Christopher Walnut asked for more cowbell, you bet your sweet ass I played a scene from that Saturday Night Live sketch. Finally, I exported the show file and waited for nightfall. Remember, just a couple of weeks ago, I was about to throw these in the trash and light them on fire. But now, let's see if Samuel L. Jackson is ready for the prime time.
Resemblance is purely
Oh, it's going.
festive coincidence.
Exactly. We are original, fully legal, totally distinct holiday personalities.
A small envelope marked cease and desist did blow by earlier.
Not important, Chris. Focus. Now, are you ready for the most electrified Christmas show this neighborhood has ever seen?
I was told there'd be cookies.
Oh, there will be. After we melt some eyeballs with 2,000 watts of Christmas spirit.
Is that safe?
No.
250 strands of light, 100 individual bulbs.
We'll conspire as we dream by the fire.
And the result? It was so much better than I ever imagined. The Nutcrackers didn't just go with the show, they were the show. The lights pulsed perfectly, no glitches and no flickering. The voices came in crystal clear. My display went from just a bunch of blinking lights to a fun, full-on performance. Neighbors were stopping, rolling down their windows, and just laughing. From a project that I almost threw in the garbage, it had become the star of the show. If you want to build this exact same setup, I've put a link to the xLights sequence in the description. And if you're brand new to lights, this video will catch you up on the basics.